everybody, it's me, the Goddess Akeeya, and I'm here because I just want to spend some time with you. Okay, so I was guided to give everyone who watches this a little reading. Now you're going to say, wait a minute, you're only giving one reading. No, there's always layers to every reading. There's always more than one message for every reading. And for those of you who are watching, you'll know how it applies. So what I want you to do now as an audience, in your space, in your time, I want you to think about something in your life that you want a little bit more information on, or perhaps you're looking for some guidance, or perhaps this is something that will help you on your path and your purpose. Okay, so I'm using the Osho Zen Tarot. I love them. They're wonderful. And what I love about sharing readings or utilizing cards, it's just a confirmation of what I will say to you before I even look at the cards, because I'm going to give you all a reading. It's going to be across the board, wherever you are. It's a reading just for you. And then after I do your reading, for those of you who want to stay on, then I will do a channeling of the Golden Seers. They'll come through and we'll see what they have to say or what they need to share with you today. Now, some of you wonder what channeling is. Channeling is kind of like listening and repeating. And a lot of times what happens is when I'm channeling, the voices will pick based on what's in this brain, you know, which voice to use, how to get their point across more effectively. And some people ask, well, who are the Golden Seers? Well, the Golden Seers are actually you and I. The Golden Seers are all it is. The Seers did come to this planet or this universe to help comfort and show great compassion and nurturing to humanity. So, and a lot of times when they talk to me, I always believe that the proof is in the pudding, or the words, by their fruits ye shall know them. That has always stuck with me, and I believe that's in the King James Version of the Bible. And I think that that's important for you and I. I want you to look at your fruits in life right now. I know we got some fruity, loopy people in our lives, but I'm talking about the fruits in our lives. This is the seeds you have planted in this lifetime. The weeds you planted in this lifetime, and the ones that you had to pull up but just keep coming back up again. Think about it. And maybe they're supposed to be there. Maybe there's some value to the weeds in life also. Maybe there's something, maybe what we look at as a weed is really truly something that is a blessing to us, so that we can refine and define our souls. So here we go. Oh, look, we have a little guest. Hi. Woo, it's Maury! Yay! Hello, Maury. You know, Maury is a seer bird. He knows how to read cards. It's so funny. I can lay him out a certain way and he'll pick one and just flip that baby over. I'm wondering if he's present because he wants me to do that. We'll see. Well, Maury, you gotta get off my head, buddy, because you know what happens when you're on my head? Bird doo-doo. Yes, it is. I know you think you're conditioning my hair or covering my bald spots, but no. Okay, oh well, he's not leaving. We have a bird. Maury is in the house. Okay, so I'm going to center myself. Wow. Okay, sometimes, ooh, look at my hair. Look at my hair. It's a mess. More, what you do to it? Okay. Sometimes we believe something because we're told it is true. And if we find that to be true, then we hold on to that truth. However, sometimes, and some of you are now witnessing where something that you believed to be true and told was true isn't. And sometimes when those things happen, oh my goodness, that can be the ultimate betrayal. But we must be careful, because betrayals manifest in our lives so that we don't betray ourselves. Betrayals manifest in our lives so we don't betray ourselves. And some people say, well, I would never betray myself. Well, you know, I would say pretty much 99.9% of the individuals that I have met here and interdimensionally have betrayed themselves in one way or another. Some people would say that would be impossible. I would say to you, oh yes, it's true. Especially when we make choices that we know we don't want to make, and we make them anyway. It's kind of like individuals who are in relationships, whether these relationships are personal or career-wise. And as we are in these relationships, there might be some things that we follow through on, but we might compromise in order to continue to achieve whatever it is that we need to achieve. So the first step here today is to look at, have you compromised yourself in any way? It's okay not to compromise. I mean, I don't think anyone watching this is greedy or selfish. I really don't. Because you wouldn't be watching me. You may be very curious to see what this is all about. But what I would say to you is don't compromise what your heart and soul tells you is true. Don't compromise that. Don't compromise your happiness. Don't compromise your joy. Don't compromise. There's times that we need to give ourselves permission not to compromise. And I have so many wonderful clients throughout the world that I enjoy. Actually, they've actually become my family, which is so cool on so many levels. But one of the things I see consistently is, it's kind of like that Linda Ronstadt song. I've been cheated, been mistreated. When will I be loved? Okay, now this is really super important. And I have said this probably for several decades. If you sit in the same space, doing the same thing, and not allowing yourself to go on an adventure, to meet new people, to try new environments, or different environments, or maybe familiar environments, love will be hindered. You gotta get out there. Get out there. And see, a lot of people think, well, getting out there is getting on the internet and getting on one of these sites. I hope that really works for you. But there's something wonderful about really meeting an individual who has similar interests, that meets you at the place where you don't have to compromise who you are. Okay, many people compromise their orgasms. Yes, I said it. Many people compromise their orgasms. Some people don't even know what that feels like. Yes, I'm telling you the truth, although I do believe they do know what it feels like. But sometimes they may choose to compromise the ability to experience that. And I'm not talking about just orgasms in the genitalia. I'm talking about orgasms of your creativity, of your mind, of just an explosion, a beautiful wave of just divine knowing. I'll use that phrase, absolutely. Okay, so let's see what the cards have to say to you. The first card is, ooh, very important, muy importante. Here I go, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. This card is called the awareness card. And look, it's the number 7. In the major arcana or arcana, is that what they call it? I'm not very good with my pronunciation. You know, what's really cool is I had the privilege of being in a multicultural family. I love this. So sometimes the way I pronounce things may sound a little bit wacky, but that's okay. Awareness. And look at that. If you look at the card, you'll see that there is almost like an image of a person behind a curtain, like a shadow behind the curtain. And then there's a Kuan Yin figure that's emerging, almost like opening the curtains. No, that's kind of cool because it kind of, I don't know. Hey, Mr. V, look at this. Doesn't that kind of look like where I am? Look at that.
It does.
Oh, wow. That is so... Hold on. Womp, womp. I can't swear to you. This was not planned. No, that looks like that card. Woo. That is so cool. But if you look at the Kuan Yin figure, it almost looks like she has fire rising from her, but it's actually in the color of waves and water, and so it just feels like that. It's almost like awareness of your burning emotions, or awareness of who you are. Sometimes we hide that, who we really are. Maybe because we don't want to be rejected. Maybe because some of us are afraid. Maybe because the not good enough isn't something you want to look at from somebody else's perspective. But see, here's the thing. If you don't think you're good enough, how do you expect other people to think you're good enough? Okay? We are the best critics of ourselves. And if you have individuals who are constantly criticizing you, that's not you. That's not your issue. I want you to focus on the things that are great about you. And don't minimize your greatness. Too many people minimize their greatness. Okay? I have no hesitation in saying that I am the Goddess Akeeya 2.0. My daughter gave me the 2.0. She said after everything that I had been through, she said, Mom, you're the newer version. So 2.0, Mom. Okay, now, second card. Are we ready? Are you ready? Okay, so now we have an awareness of ourselves. We're having compassion for ourselves. We are not going to betray ourselves, okay? And you know when you're betraying yourself, because in your energy field you feel, or your emotions, you feel icky, okay? Maybe you feel ashamed, or you blame yourself for something. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take accountability. I am telling you that when you get that kind of a feeling, smudge, clear that, okay? And focus on what is good in your life. Okay, next card. Ooh, look at this. Understanding. I go forward like this. Look at the corner of the card that's from Maury when he picked up the card. Oh, so we have awareness and understanding. And if you look at this card, and that's why I think it's cool that I have my birdies out. When you look at this card, you see that this bird, who's in the cage really? Doesn't it matter which perspective you're coming from? Think about it. But the door is open either way. Either way, the door is open. You just got to fly through it. Some people say, well, no, the doors are closing on me, Akeeya. That's probably because you're not supposed to go that way. And if you feel determined that you have to continue to go the way where all the doors are closed, well, good for you. Just keep going and ask yourself about, 10 months down the road, how is that working for you? Okay, now, this understanding card is understanding of what will liberate us from betrayal. Liberate us from betrayal. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to say this to you. You already know this, okay? I don't know what's happening in this country or in this world, but it's happening, okay? Used to be a time, okay, that people didn't get to see the situation here until after they had earned the right to. Now everybody's showing it, you know? It's no surprise. If there's no surprise, okay, who's going to invest? Think about it. There's a lot of you who's just saying, well, it's my true love. We met online. We're going to get together. And boom, you hit those sheets within less than 24 hours. Maybe it's a couple months. All right? First time you ever met each other, face to face. And boom, you're hitting those sheets. I suggest perhaps thinking of a different alternative, because many people get upset after that first. It was so great. It was so passionate. And there's nothing there. There's no ringing of the doorbell. There's no bringing of the flowers. There's no, hey, I'm going to call you. All of a sudden they disappear. And then they have these mini crises like, what's wrong with me? Oh my God, it makes me so ugly. Are you kidding me? They got the candy. They took your candy. They're gone. These are candy bandits. And you're letting, there's a lot of people who are letting them do that, okay? hey, there's always candy to go around. Okay, but there's the special part. You know, like there's some things that are really special. When I was growing up, there were 2 candies that were really special that we would, well, I'll say 3. Let's go with the 3. One were those circus peanuts. Some people love those. I didn't get it. Okay, I didn't get the circus peanuts, all right? But I'll tell you something, I was grateful getting the circus peanuts because that's all the candy we would get. Okay, there was times when we would only get a 1 walnut. And that was our big treat. I'm not saying we were starved. I'm just saying that it wasn't, our teeth were important. Our well-being was important. But what I'm saying this is, savor. People have forgotten how to savor being with each other and enjoying each other's energy fields. And every energy field that you interact with, you leave a little bit of something with them. Okay, that's why you could be with somebody and all of a sudden you just feel like, I feel skeevy. Okay, it's because you exchanged energy and somebody needs to be smudged. Don't do that to yourself. That's like a form of betrayal. Liberate yourself from those type of things. Okay, charity doesn't mean you put yourself in harm's way. Compassion doesn't mean you put yourself in harm's way. You don't have to do that. You don't have to self-punish either. And if some of you, when you're going to these one-night stands, I'm glad you're enjoying it. But when you get devastated, it does break your heart because you want to know something. Every single soul on this planet, incarnated to be incarnated, on all times and dimensions, you do have love out there. There is love for you. Love is not just what's in a romance novel. I mean, one of the greatest loves I've ever seen is watching people with their pets. And you know what? Although there's a humper or two, most pets, they're just so grateful. They're grateful. Like little Maury here. He's running away. My bird's on the floor. He cracks me up. The birds in my house, this is a free zone. I don't clip their wings or anything either. I think that's cool. You want to know what happened to me? Today I was going on my way to the sleep doctor. And as I was walking to my car, I thought there was a leaf that blew in front of me. Because those of you who know me know that I walk with a staff. And what I like about walking with a staff is it helps. Every time I put the staff down, it feels like it grounds me to the earth. But then when I look down, I can see things that maybe I would have missed otherwise. So I kind of like that. But anyhow, today as I was walking towards my car, I see this leaf, or I think it's a leaf, right? And I start to walk, and as I walk, the leaf moves. And as it moves, my foot comes down. But it didn't go crunch. And I look down and I go, oh no. And it was a little tiny frog. I swear to you, it was about this big. It was a little tiny frog. And I go, oh no. I thought I had crushed its back leg, its back left leg. So I went and I tried to pick him up to see, because, he was on the hot tar pavement. And so I was just kind of like getting him. The blacktop gets hot in the summer. So I just picked him up and it looked like his leg was messed up. And then my beautiful niece helped me to bring it, and she put it on the grass and we checked on it later and it wasn't there, so it must have gone somewhere. Maybe it was okay, but I apologized the whole entire way, because last thing I want to do is ever step on a baby frog. When we lived on the island of Oahu, we were able to swim by the waterfalls, and a lot of times we would find tadpoles. And I love those little tadpoles. They're cute. If you haven't never seen a real tadpole, you should. Tadpoles are cute, and they're precursors to frogs, I guess, the adult frog. But I'd kiss those little tadpoles because they were so cute, and I'd put them in the water. I must have kissed a lot of tadpoles. I think that's like love. I think we kiss a lot of tadpoles sometimes. They're so cute. But sometimes we have to put them back in the water because they're not grown yet. And some of these interactions that are quick and overnight, it's kind of like expecting a nut to be a tree. like a macadamia nut, a almond. It takes time, right? So you want to crack a few nuts? Go ahead. Crack those nuts! But I'll tell you, give the tree time to grow. And if you're in the right relationship, there's more than enough time. And some people say, well, I only had a few minutes. Isn't it wonderful to just have a few moments of true love and true passion, that a moment overnight that takes some of your chi, takes some of your energy, and then you always have that. I think they scientifically have found out 7 years. Oh yes. Okay, it doesn't matter if you like the person or not. If you engaged in intimacy with that individual, especially with the genitalias, I'm telling you, you have residual of that individual in you for 7 years. People say, but I smudge. I don't know how to smudge your hoo-ha. Okay? I don't know how you do that. I'm sure you can do all kinds of energy work, but you guys need to be aware of this, because it does make a difference. It really does. I'm not saying, hey, listen, I'm the first person to say have some fun, but be clear about why you're going on that date in the first place. I know passion is passion, but if you're truly seeking that romance, that bliss, that joy that comes from a sacred relationship, then it takes time to develop. It takes time to develop. All right, here's your next card. You ready for this? I know, it's a long reading. What can I say? It's okay though. I figured that this is an avenue to get information out to as many people as possible, so y'all have a little reading, and then you get to see my face. Because now, especially after everything that's happened, my traveling is limited, and there are so many people that I miss. Miami! Vermont! New York! New Jersey! I miss you. I miss you. No, you know what? I miss you, but I know that the people that are meant to be in my life and I'm in theirs, we always keep in touch. There is no hindrance. Okay, and now we have technology, so you can Skype me, do phone reading, and if I'm lucky, and I'll be so grateful to have the opportunity to see you face to face again. I need to see you guys face to face. Okay, we're getting one more card. When we were little, my little sister Jeannie and I, we used to go, Ili Beanie, Ili Beanie. It's fun to do those things that you used to do when you were a kid. I mean, you know what I still enjoy to this day is to get a Tootsie Pop and try not to bite into it before I get into the chocolate center. You know what I mean? I haven't done that for a while. It's probably been about 3 years, but I'm getting that urge to do it again, see how many licks. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Okay, so if we are compassionate with ourselves, we don't betray ourselves, we liberate ourselves, we walk through those doors that are open for us so that we can spread our wings and fly and not be hindered. Okay, when we see the ways that we self-imprison ourselves, okay, then we go to this card, which is possibilities. And look, it's the number 2. 2 for balance, 2 for teamwork. And then look at the color, red. What is that? Red. Firm foundation, courage. Oof, red. Okay, now, possibilities. Okay, let's talk about this. Oh, and look at the birdie. See the birdie? So is the sun rising or is the sun setting? Okay, because one of the things that I learned from one of my greatest mentors, one of the greatest masters I believe I have encountered in this on this path, she said, you are what you are by virtue of what you think and believe. You are what you are by virtue of what you think and believe. And that, of course, is Melody, who writes the Love is in the Earth books. And that statement alone has helped me tremendously, because I do, if you feel like you're cranky and you're ugly, you are cranky and ugly. Is that what you want to be? Is that your identity? Is that what you want to be? Okay? That's why I kind of like the idea of when people give themselves good titles. you know, of who they really are and what they want to express. And don't just do that through communicating verbally, but just do it in how you are, how you live your life. Okay, be who you are meant to be. One of the things I really enjoy is when there were mom and pop businesses and you could walk in and there was somebody who was a clockmaker, or you'd have somebody who made shoes, or you had the baker, or it wasn't always mass corporate. It was these individuals who their whole entire life is to create a space, usually family owned, and to have that one-on-one with their customers when they walked in. And they had a trade, a skill that was valued. It was valued. That part to me is like, think of the possibilities. You came here to teach. You came here to learn. You came here to teach. You came here to learn. You came here to teach. You came here to learn. And like the eagle, it says, I thought I heard once that eagles were nearsighted, but it's almost like, I know that when people are nearsighted, because I am, it means you can't see too far, but that's okay. You know, sometimes people overwhelm themselves with the details in the future. Instead of staying focused on the details of what's happening right now and using that to their advantage. Okay, for those of you who know me, know that I was in the hospital. I had 2 surgeries on my derriere. And the first surgery was necessary. I just was like, do whatever you got to do, because the pain was incredible and I knew it was out of control. The second surgery came after I had a vision while I was meditating and smiling at my butt. And I saw myself in an open grave, no casket, and I was covered with poison. I think I tell this story 1,000,000 times because it had that much of an impact on me. And I heard the God voice. Yeah, God talks to me. God talks to you. I'm not trying to limit you on what your belief system is. I don't even think I have to qualify my statements anymore. My divine power spoke to me and said, that they would have to go in and do another surgery. Otherwise, I was going to die. And I knew it would be from the poison, the infection. So my eyes opened so fast, I was like, oh, shoot. And less than 5 minutes later, in walked the surgeons, and they told me, we're going to have to go in another time. The infection has spread. And you know what? I wasn't afraid. I wasn't. You want to know what scared me the most? It's like I didn't have any medical insurance. I thought, oh gosh, I'm in trouble. I thought I would be treated less than because I didn't have medical insurance. And I'll tell you something, every single person in that hospital, except that emergency room doctor, I'd like to talk to him for a second or two, but he was doing his job. Every single person treated me like I mattered. They treated me with great compassion. Now, we have so much more possibilities when we allow ourselves to receive the positive attention, the wonderful blessings that are coming with gratitude. Because I'll tell you something, there is never a day that I am not grateful. Now the next one, ready? Last card, and then I'm channeling. So for those of you who don't want to listen to the channel, this will be your time to let go. Here we go. And I hope that this helps you. Boom. This is the card that my twinks, she always hopes she never gets. Okay, you ready? Isolation. Isolation. This card is number 3, and if you look, see it's gray. And then you see like this individual who's crying, and the tears, they're turning like a sunny yellow, and he's stuck in the ice. And I believe when we cry, it's not always because we're sad. And sometimes we're going to cry for help, and it's going to seem like no one is listening or paying attention. But the truth is, you are never alone, and there is a reason why you are going through what you're going through. Please don't think of it as a punishment, even though I know pain can be excruciating. Think of whatever it is that you're going through, even if it feels like nothing is moving in your favor. If you are doing everything that you can, everything, you're making an effort, not excuses. Well, I tried that already. You know, one of the things I really, this is one of my little, there's two pet peeves that come to my mind right now. One, people who throw their garbage out the window while they're driving, the litterers. I just get so pissed about that. It's like, what? That's like spitting on your mom. Gosh, don't do it. Okay, that's number one pet peeve. Okay, number two pet peeve is when somebody obviously could benefit from counseling. Okay, I learned this. Counseling is not for crazy people all the time. Counseling is so that when you're feeling crazy, you can get back on track and make sure you're going on the right track. Counseling is to not just bring you to average and normal, but to clear you of some of the stuff that's hindering you, okay? Whether it's abuse, okay, a lot of people are abused. You know, whether it's depression, whatever it is, it's to assist you, okay, not to bind you. So why do I keep going off on these tangents? I have a really low tolerance, especially for abusive men and women who say, yeah, I know I have a problem. I went to counseling, it didn't work. Oh, really? And how long did you go to counseling? Oh, a month. It didn't do anything for me. Are you kidding me? Jeez. Come on now. A month? Please. Please know it will probably take more than a month, probably even 100 times that, to get rid of old unhealthy patterns and behaviors. It takes time. And sometimes you'll slip back into it, pull yourself out of it, and stop making excuses. Stop making excuses for behaviors that is destroying yourself, your self-esteem, and others and their self-esteem. You're bigger than that. My very dear friend said that to me. You're bigger than that. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, so the card that you saw, the isolation card, is that a lot of us have put our feelings on ice in order to survive. You had to. Some of us went numb. Some of you will choose things that will numb you. Painkillers, drugs, alcohol, my goodness, gambling, sex, oh my goodness. Oh, you can go all the way down. But you gotta stop putting your feelings on ice and melt that ice, the stuff that's kept you frozen, so that you can flow with your true identity, flow with your energy. Okay, so now it is time. Look at my fabulous robes. Look at this. It's time for me to just channel the Golden Seers. So here we go. All right. I'll see you when I get back. I very seldom wear shoes. I don't think I've had shoes on my feet for a long, long time. I like flip-flops, especially Havaianas. I like those. I don't know if I say those right. I think they're Havaianas or something, but they're just wonderful. My friends and clients in Miami introduced me to them, and I just loved them. They're great. I remember when we lived on the island of Oahu, and we would wear our flip-flops, and how upset I would get when my flip-flops would break. Oh, I hated that. But going barefoot on the island is always good, and we'll talk to you about that. We'll talk to you about sometimes you have to get rid of the old shoes. Not because they're not your favorite, but because it's time for a new pair. And shoes metaphorically go into our careers, our relationships, our identities. And shoes oftentimes express what we want to be paid attention to. Although I love stilettos, I don't wear them. I like flip-flops. I'm a flip-flop kind of a girl. That's a good one. So take a moment and think about the shoes that you like to wear and what they are expressing about you. And then after you've thought about those shoes, I want you to think about your feet. I want you to take a good look at your feet. And if you don't have any feet, I want you to take a look at your foundations in life. Everyone should. You feel like a lot of people feel like they have lost their feet. My father was a double amputee up to the hips. It didn't happen all at once. It kind of was a gradual thing. But I'll tell you something, that man could walk with his wisdom. Oh, the smartest man I ever met. Okay, so I'm going to ask Mr. V to pass me my crystal ball, and then I'm going to start channeling. Can you get Baby Beamer for me, Mr. V? Okay, Mr. V, go and bring Baby Beamer in. Okay, let's see if I can get him to just take a peek at the audience for just a minute. He's a little bit camera shy. I don't know why. Okay, because I think he looked like Brad Pitt. Okay, come sit over here. Just peek at the people. Hello.
Hello.
All right, there we are. Oh, see, that's his uncomfortable smile. You see, he's got to learn how to get that more comfortable smile. He doesn't want to be in front of the camera. Okay. Just so that you know, we are always in front of the camera. They're always watching us, whether it's our government or the divine. Somebody's got an eye on us. Just good. Here we go. All right, Mr. V, I'm going to ring my bell. Here we go. They wanted me to talk to you all about acceptance and about accepting yourselves and coming to a place of acceptance for the things like that's kind of one of the hardest things to do, I think, especially when you have a loved one who's going through a traumatic illness of some sort and they are struggling with every breath to get through the process, whether that process eventually ends in transition. It's important to really truly value every moment till that moment. Just really value it. But most souls, they don't want to be remembered by their traumas and tragedies. They really do want to be remembered by their strength and their beauty and their compassion. And of course you got a few souls in there who want to be known as those badasses and stuff. And that's not a bad thing all the time. It really isn't. Wow. All of a sudden, it feels like I'm in a space that has all kinds of, I think it's called spirit quartz. Yeah, I think it's called spirit quartz. But there's like pink hued ones, there's some that look amethyst color, there's sky blue ones. And they told me to tell you that every single one of your chakras, whether it's in your body or outside your body, it's you can access information about your past lives and also about your future lives. And that's why it's important to keep the chakras open, because when your chakras are open, you're healthier. But also it talks about that you're working through some things from past lives that you need to be open to understanding on a higher level in this lifetime. It's kind of like graduating. And sometimes when we have experienced traumas and dramas, it does have an effect on your chakras. And there may be people who don't understand what that is, so I'll spell it for you. Chakras, and these are rotating wheels of light or energy on our body, and we have 7 major ones, but there are so many minor ones and probably more major ones, so I'm not going to limit you, but they said to really pay attention to the colors that you are inviting into your environments, especially what you like to wear. And this is important because it represents a lot of what your soul is expressing, and which chakra is more active. And the more patterns, I guess, that are in whatever it is that you have on, the more there's patterns. It's kind of like the Fibonacci sequence. It's like they're showing me that those patterns kind of help align and realign. And it's almost as if all the spirit quartz that are around, they just started to, they're humming. It's like this beautiful hum. Oh, they're singing to the children. The spirit quartz is singing to the children, and singing to the families, singing to the elderly, singing to the animals and to the birds. They love to sing. They're all part of a divine symphony. And I'm supposed to tell you to allow yourselves to be surrounded by the crystalline beings which have emerged from the earth and are waiting to come home to you. For every crystal you bring into your life knows you, knows your story, and has come forth to assist you on your journey and to amplify benevolence, well-being, playfulness, love, good health. The crystalline beings that are unnoticed, these are those who are put into boxes and put away for a moment, stored in. Many of them are ready to be out in the sun, in the rainbows, in the storms, especially your quartz. It would be optimal if every being on this planet was gifted a special crystal upon their birth to carry with them through their journey. Crystals are gifts from the divine creator, divine creators. They are here to record and to share. All your technology is nowhere near the information available to you via the crystalline energy. All children vibrate to specific crystal energies. For colicky babies, you do not want to surround them with apophyllite. For colicky babies, we suggest Larimar, the calmness of the ocean, the calmness of the waters. Many of us would bring our crystals to the oceans and bathe them in the tides Some would think they would be lost, but we knew that if they were not in the same spot we had put them in, they had begun a greater journey, continued a greater energy. There are so many crystals beneath your oceans that man cannot access because they are so sacred to this planet that if touched by man can cause a ripple in a delicate system of compassion and benevolence. All crystals should be treated as sacred, even those who are cracked. And if one comes to you unexpectedly, or you are drawn to one unexpectedly or expectantly, rejoice in reuniting with such a sacred friend and being. There are those who sleep with their crystals. We enjoy this too. But we also say if you have sleepless nights, your crystals need to be put in a place separate from your bedrooms. It just means rest is rest for you. Your crystal can continue to send you information and enlighten you, empower you through a distance. Once a crystal has attuned to you, it never forgets. You are very much crystalline beings. Many seek Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu, and other colonies of crystals. But do not forget you are a part of their lineage, part of all that was good in them, the strength of them. Even the weakest among you is strong. We ask you to demonstrate more compassion to those who are disabled or handicapped. Do not limit yourself by your physical bodies. Use your mind, your brain to discover so many layers of creation. Sit under a tree in the shade, read a book, a real book, one that you can touch. Give yourself opportunities to stick your feet in the sand, to allow the waves and the tides to regenerate your body. Of course, if you cannot swim, don't go too far in. There are some of you who need to use more common sense, especially when it comes to working with crystals. More common sense. You ask why? Because there are those who would try or attempt to use crystals for purposes they were not meant to be used for. That is like you betraying yourselves. Why would you harm that or those who are here to assist and uplift you? Why would the innocent kill the innocent? Also, your deserts are great areas to allow your crystals to experience and absorb the energy of the deserts. The deserts have stories to tell. The desert sands are so thick There are many places which hide sacred temples or tabernacles, and they will find crystals, stones that are not indigenous to the space they were discovered. This will be a confirmation of the value of embracing other cultures, the value of allowing yourself to experience something different. One of the most wonderful things for the crystalline beings is when the seeker seeks, and when that sacred reunion happens. So in the silence, Baby Beamer has messages for you. When you gaze into the crystal, you may see an image or two. We will open ourselves up and bring the crystal to you and allow you to see what you need to see, to experience what you need to experience. Some people will say, bring it closer. I can't see it. Space is a limitation at times. You can't see it. See it in your mind's eye. See everything that has happened on this planet is recorded in the crystalline energy. Everything. Everything. And although there are new crystalline beings growing in the earth, they tell each other stories. Stories at one time people believed, and some have forgotten. Maury! Mr. Maury now is on there. There he goes, look at Maury. Maury's going to help you. There he is. Hi, Maury. Hi, Maury. Look. Do you see camera? Do you see camera? You do. I know you do. Oh, yes. Thank you. I love you. Uh-oh, Birdie's getting jealous. Birdie's getting jealous. I think the channeling's over. Thanks for tuning in. Maybe next time we'll go down another adventure. Woo! Okay, so I'm going to take this off. My wonderful friend Mary made this for me. It's my fabulous channeling. It is in honor of the fuchsia people. Bye.